I know. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Jacaranda FM and Sun International, welcome in Gauteng, the Kings of Chaos. Give it up. Cool. Are we happy? Thank you so much, gentlemen. Thank you.
Yes, I love. Yeah.
If you push yours, you cut that next guy off. So me?
Oh, gotcha.
Cut the next guy off, so it'll be fun and games.
Hello.
All right. Fun and games. Gentlemen, once again, welcome to Gauteng. Looking forward to your show at Sun City this weekend. We are so happy to have you here on behalf of Jacaranda FM and Sun International. I'm going to start the press conference coming to you, Matt. I do believe that this was your excellent idea. If you want to tell us exactly how this idea got into your head for Kings of Chaos, Matt.
Good reason to go on safari was the original idea. No, that's how I bribed Slash. He's actually out on safari right now. He's somewhere out there. He's up at 6 a.m. He's seen the big five. Said he saw 8 rhinos yesterday, a bunch of elephants, some giraffes, cheetahs. So, basically I just love playing rock and roll with my friends, and these guys are all my friends. I said it on stage in Australia, everybody on this stage gets along. We like each other. And that isn't always the case in some bands, as we know. So, the idea was to come out and play some rock and roll and combine a bunch of great musicians from a bunch of bands and play great songs and celebrate rock and roll. So that's why we're here.
Great idea. Thank you so much for being here. All right, let's get the questions from the floor. Dave Hammond, I'm going to come to you first, sir.
Gentlemen, welcome to South Africa. Nice to have you here. I know some of you have been here before, but some of you are also, it's your first visit, I believe. So welcome. I hope you're going to enjoy your stay with us. Matt, a question for you quickly. I believe that the Guns N' Roses members that are in this particular band were rehearsing in Hollywood recently, and you were doing songs which you hadn't done together since the Use Your Illusion tour in 1993. What was that session like, from getting everybody together again and sort of playing those songs again that you hadn't played for so long?
A lot like riding a bike, got back on it and felt great. And the other night, when we were playing down in Cape Town and Duff was out there and, Gilby and Slash and then Miles was up front, there was a moment where I had that feeling of, 20 years ago where it felt like the old days. Because we had the crowd and they were up and it was sold out and the vibe was on. And I had this moment of like, oh my God, feels really good, And man, it has been a long time, especially, Duff and Slash and myself had a band called Velvet Revolver, which Dave Kushner was also the guitar player. So that was nice to have Dave on this trip because we do a couple of Velvet Revolver songs as well. But it's been a while since we did the Hard Rock and Roll Hall of Fame was the last time that we played those songs. But we only knew that we were going to play the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame about maybe an hour before. It was like, I didn't even know until I got to the airport and I look over and I saw Miles Kennedy. God bless him. He stepped into those shoes, And then I saw Gilby. I said, well, what are we doing? That was really what went down. So, yeah, and, we've all remained friends, you know what I mean? I mean, through all the stuff that people think about whatever's going on with that band. We're still all friends, and we have a lot of history together. So, you know, no one ever asked the question, hey, man, why don't we go play, you know? So I'm like, maybe I should ask that question. And it happened, and here we are. So it's really cool.
Louis from MK.
Hello. I've got a question for Matt. Hello, Matt. With your most recent additions with Miles and Safari Slash, have you guys have any additional thoughts as to who's going to join the Kings of Chaos fold in the future?
Well, that's something that I get out my Rolodex. And the one thing about me is, it's weird living in Los Angeles. I get called by all these different musicians all the time to do different things. And I thought, wow, I have Iggy Pop's phone number. I have Steven Tyler's phone number. I have Billy Idol's, and I'm not afraid to ask. It's a lot of people are like, I'm afraid he's just going to say no. So I just go for it. So I'm going to call everybody. I've the list. I could give you the list. It's crazy, but next time out, it could be a whole different thing. It could be a little bit different. Depends on everyone's schedules and what everyone's doing, and everyone has their own careers. Miles came out here, God bless him. He's right in the middle of doing an Alter Bridge record, and he jumped out of the studio. So we don't want to like break any bands up or anything. So we had to ask permission of the rest of the band too. So we want to be cool to everyone's day jobs, so to speak, but we do want to tour this thing 3, 4, 5 times a year, hopefully, is the idea. And come back here again next year.
Cool. I think we've got a question here. Is a question for?
Ed Roland. If you look at Collective Soul historically from the album Hints, Allegations, and Things Left Unsaid, you can, as the up till Dosage, you can see there's a gradual transformation. And there's a slight change in sound, also in appearance. What was the inspiration for this, and what brought this about?
I think just growing up, and if you're in a studio, you want to experiment with different sounds. We had a little bit more time to do that, a little bit more money to make those records too. Probably spent too much time and too much money making those. But as far as appearance, I guess you go through phases. I just cut all my hair off and look like this now, so I don't know what phase this is. The daddy phase, I guess. So next year I may be different. I don't know. It's just part of growing, and never want to kind of be the same, I don't think. Try not to be anyway.
Okay, Ilse Marie.
Hi guys, I'm also from Jacaranda FM. Now, my question is to Miles Kennedy. You worked with Slash last year in Apocalyptic Love. Do you guys have any future plans together?
Yeah, we're going to, I think, reconvene next year and probably start putting another record together. And yeah, it's just we'll keep touring, and we've had a lot of fun. It's been a very cool experience.
All right, next one.
Question for Joe Elliott. With all the rock and roll royalty in the change room before a show, how do you guys go about selecting a set list out of the hordes of hits that the bands involved in Kings of Chaos have?
I think it pretty much picks itself. When Matt phoned me last 16 months ago when we first tried this out in South America, and he said, are you in? And I said, I'm in, yeah. So what are we going to do? He says, well, we're going to have to pretty much stick to the hits because that's what people are going to want to hear. They're not really going to want to hear the obscure B-sides on a project like this. So, you can guess 90% of what we're going to play, but the difference is it's different people playing it. That's what makes it fun for us is you can say, oh, yeah, I've done this song 1,000 times, but I've not done it with these guys 1,000 times. So that totally changes it. This is like having a mistress and leaving the wife at home. That's the great thing about it. So, and as Matt said, yeah.
On that point,
everybody on the stage likes each other because the people we don't like aren't here. So,
all right.
I've got a question for Dave Krishna. Hi, Dave. Welcome to Johannesburg. Hi. You and Slash were at school together, weren't you?
Yes.
And has there, just checking, has there ever been any competition sort of back then musically or even today? Is there a bit of rivalry between you because of that, being old school friends?
not that I would talk about in a press conference. No, he was a grade ahead of me, but we were all friends in the same circle. And I would try and get him. I think I was drinking more, or no, he wouldn't smoke pot, and I was always trying to get him to smoke pot, but he would just drink, and there was like that kind of competition. But as far as playing, like when I first met him, he played, and I didn't even play guitar, and I actually was like a fan of his from back then, because he used to have this 3-piece band, and it just always seemed like he was always that good. So I was just always a fan of his playing, but the competition thing, just maybe with the weed. That's it.
Who won?
Bong. I don't think either one of us won.
All right, next one over here.
Hi everyone. I'm Carrie Ann from XFM. So musicians have sneaky secret powers, magic powers. And so my question is for all of you, which superhero would you be? And that's what we need to know at Mix FM. So can I start at Joe Elliott?
I would be Glenn Hughes. But I'd be able to fly.
Nice. And Ed Roland?
Wanna fly? Superman.
Okay, Miles Kennedy.
The Invisible Man. It would be nice if I could figure out how to run this thing. It would be nice if I could figure out, just disappearing whenever you would like to would be awesome.
Fly on the wall stuff. Okay, Matt Sorum.
Oh, I like Spider-Man. I like his tights. It's a good look.
Would they be sparkly?
Crawl around on stuff, crawl up buildings, look in people's windows. It'd be fun.
So you've got something in common with Miles then. Okay, thanks. And Glenn Hughes.
Oh, it's very simple. Catwoman. Very, very simple.
Yeah, no, that's a good set.
For obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Don't tell anybody.
Dave Kushner.
If I could be Raphael from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, my son would fucking freak out. So that's what
He means it too.
Best dad ever. Okay. And Gilby Clark.
I think I'm an Iron Man guy. He's got the best car and motorcycle collection I've ever seen. So.
Cool.
Nice
Thanks,
one.
guys. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to come here, and I'm going to come to you. There, but right here. No, not yet. All right, can we hand it over? I'll first come to you. That's fine. And then we'll go that side.
Hi, my name is Yolanda, and my question is for Joe Elliott. I'd just like to say, damn it, you're old. The reason I say this is that there was a point in time in which you complained that media does not popularize rock and roll, and that even though you churn out so many CD sales, they don't put you on the front mags, and they don't make you the it people. Just so that you know that you have been recognized and you have been loved. I'm a girl from the Eastern Cape, in like one of the poorest countries, and I can sing along to Def Leppard. So,
Well, that's good to know.
And then I just want to know: do you still feel as though it's the same? Do you still feel that even though rock bands are really good and they churn out great CD sales, that they're still being sidelined in terms of media publicity?
Yeah, it is to a point. I mean, if you can take any magazine that handles music for 52 weeks and put all the covers out side by side and go along them and find out how many rock bands will feature on that front cover, it'll be very small. The world seems to be infatuated with a lot of people that go on stage for 2 hours and they dance and they don't even sing live. They mime to backing tracks, which we don't do. And, that was me just having, I don't carry this anger around with me all day. That was just one question I got asked once, and it went viral, as things do, and people think that I'm a grumpy old twat, but actually, I'm far from it. I'm a grumpy twat, but I'm not that old.
Yeah.
And I just think that it's pretty sad when it's like Elton summed it up. Elton summed it up great. When Madonna won Live Artist of the Year, his immortal comments were, "Oh, fuck off." Because she doesn't sing live. Mm-hmm. Elton John sweats his ass off on a stool playing the piano and singing live. and has done for 45, 50 years. And I think he deserves a front cover more than Madonna. Sorry.
I've got a question for you, Joe. Have you ever wanted to tell a journalist to F off?
Oh, yeah, every day.
Okay.
But not today. These guys seem all right.
Let's go to you.
Afternoon. My name is Dale from DK Expression. My question is for Dave. How does it feel to be the only member that doesn't have any hair?
Better not mention the wigs, boys.
You know, it's weird because at first when Matt called me about it, I replaced Steve Stevens, and he said, "You're gonna have to wear this," and he showed me. No, it's I don't know, what is it? I don't know.
It's cool.
It's cool.
He looks cool.
All right, let's go here.
I'm done.
Hi, it's Therese Owen from the Tonight. I've got a question for Joe Elliott. A little birdie told me that in 1997, when you were touring here, you were in a shopping centre with Nelson Mandela.
Correct,
Can you
Yes,
tell us
I
more
was.
about that experience?
We were buying Nirvana albums together, and he was asking me my opinion on Soundgarden.
By the
Actually,
way-
no, I was with Penny. She was giving us a guided tour of, were we in Durban or, yeah, we're in Durban. And there was this kerfuffle going off, great word. There was a kerfuffle going off in this mall. So what's going on? So she went and had a look, and it was Nelson Mandela and his band of merry men, I suppose, his security guards. And she used to work in conjunction with him for a little bit. And they got talking, and when she came back all excited, said, "So what's going on?" He says, "Oh, I told you." He said to me, "Who are you here with?" And she said, "Oh, I'm here with Def Leppard." And Nelson Mandela said, "Oh, the Leps." Which I always thought was like either a brilliant lie or the most cool thing I've ever heard.
Listen, on that point, actually a perfect opportunity. We have here, courtesy of Jacaranda FM, 46664, Nelson Mandela. You all are very much aware of that. These are individual, unique bracelets issued by 46664. So we'd like to give you each one
thank you.
as a little gift here today while we're talking about our very own Madiba. He's not feeling well right now, so please take this back with you. And remember, Gauteng, buy it, South Africa, 46664. And they're all unique,
Beautiful.
uniquely numbered. Thank you so much.
Thank
There
you.
go. Cool. I'm going to come here to Ilse
Thank
Marie
you.
because I think she's got a question for.
For Glenn Hughes,
Cool.
actually. Well, it's no secret you had a pretty hard rock and roll life. But who's the hardest living rock star you've ever encountered?
Lemmy. And I say that because I tried to keep up with him in the 80s and he left me for dead back then. And I sobered up in 91 and, you know, Lemmy is a unique fellow. Let me just add that there's no way anyone in this room, on this podium, probably could keep up with that young chap. So long may he reign, although I can't join him at the bar anymore. I've been overserved too many times, been in too many ER rooms, too many rooms naked. Come down, Mr. Hughes, your time is up. So I have been surrendered. I am here to tell you sobriety works, but all those people that want to have a cocktail, go right ahead. It doesn't really work for me. I end up in handcuffs. So, but long may you reign, Lemmy, and God bless you. And thank you for your question.
Question on this side for Gilby. Gilby, does this bring back memories of 2006 with the Rockstar Supernova, Tommy Lee, Jason Newsted being on stage with a lot of other great stars as well?
Oh, you mean playing with, different guys? Actually, no, not really. But I mean, it was, I had the moments that Matt talked about earlier with the GNR guys. When certain guys play together, it's actually easy. We all have our thing and it fits well together and it works. And it's amazing how sometimes when we're all playing some of these songs, how easy it is. And the most important thing is it's fun. So we've been having a blast.
My question's for Glenn. I've got sort of two questions for you, Glenn, if you don't mind. You were with Deep Purple between 73 and 76, if I remember rightly.
Correct.
And you were in sort of a unique Deep Purple era because you and David Coverdale sort of did dual vocals, which was the only time in their history that they actually did that. But I want to ask
Correct.
you, if you could take every single person that's ever been in Deep Purple, what would be the definitive lineup as far as you were concerned? That was my first question. And the second one is that you made a fantastic, critically acclaimed album with Pat Thrall,
Yes.
which was the Hughes and Thrall album. Why do you think it didn't get the commercial success that everybody thought it deserved?
Well, first answer is and my deepest respects to the late Tommy Bolan, who left us at 25, tragically. I would have to say, for me, it would be the original Mark III, Pace, Lord, Blackmore, Coverdale and Hughes, simply because we were replacing Mark II guys, and there was a huge band, and we had Burn was a huge record, and we completed the task. And it also signaled the era of the two lead vocalists, which really hasn't really been done since Coverdale and Hughes. David had not really made a record before or been on stage, and we came in and, oh, after you, Glenn. No, after you, David. No, you take the first line. Oh, no, I insist. And that was the way it was all the way through Deep Purple. So I'd have to say, in hindsight, and again, Mark III with the late John Lord, who we'd really miss dearly. What a wonderful fellow. Second answer would be that album with Pat Thrall. I think every musician I've ever met has bought that album. I think it sold over 5 million albums just to musicians only and critics. The album was one of those albums that in my career that I look back and go, that was a great postcard from 1982, although I was pretty much out of my mind at that point. I was roped in by Pat and the producer, Andy Johns, rest in peace. God, they're all bloody going, aren't they? So I look across this podium and I work in with these fellows, and we're so blessed to be here, and we really love what you've offered us here, which is your love, and we aim to give you a special show this weekend. Thank you so much for coming.
Awesome. Wayne, Tux.
Hi, I'm Wayne Alicius from Tux FM Rock Radio. For Joe Elliott, number one, just if I could ask you a favor, from all of us at Tux FM and for all the rock family, if you could please send your best well wishes to Mr. Vivian Campbell for his difficult time, and we all send all of our love.
Yeah, thank you. Just so everybody knows, Vivian's been diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma. We found out on day one of the rehearsals for the Viva Hysteria run that we did in Vegas. So he was carrying that weight all the way through those shows and hid it remarkably well. He asked us to keep it quiet out of respect of his family. He didn't tell his children until Sunday, so that's why the press release went out on Monday. But he's had 2 months worth of treatment and he's responding brilliantly to it. And as he says, if there's a cancer to get, that's the one, because there's an 80% cure rate on percentage rate on it. So he's looking great. In fact, he's looking so good, he's looking like Dave Kushner right now.
And then just my question was, today is chilling in the shower, wondering what I'm going to ask. I was like,
That's way too much information, son.
I was thinking of you in the shower.
We get a visual.
I'm sorry. I was thinking, usually the shower is 20% for showering and 80% for contemplating life's biggest questions. And I was thinking...
Speak for yourself.
I was thinking, have you ever written a song on your porcelain throne of rock and roll?
Be arranged.
In fairness, yes. Steve Clark wrote Wasted, sat on the toilet. So he says, I wasn't there. But a man's private throne is a man's private throne. But I think we jokingly say the bathroom, the toilet, the shower. You don't really get a chance to write a song in the shower. You normally end up singing along with a tape or one. Everybody loves the reverb in the shower. It's a great place for us singers to warm up. You're more likely to write one in the bath because you've got more time. You can't write a song in 3 minutes. For a start, the ink runs on the paper and stuff when you're in the shower. It's a total disaster. But yeah, no, the shower's much more for getting involved in just getting your pipes in order, not so much both sets of them, yeah.
There's a lot of information in that question.
Yeah, really.
And even more in the answer.
I'm not going to take this one any further. It's gonna get...
You just want to add that...
Thanks, Joe.
I want to thank Joe for the warm-ups we do together. Joe was very cool with letting me borrow his warm-up procedure, which has saved my life over the last couple of years. So thank you, Joe, for your shower warm-ups Separately, of course. Separately.
Now it's getting weird.
It's always getting weird.
Who's got the next one? Right in the front here.
I've got a question for Matt.
Question for Matt.
Okay, hi Matt. Louise from the Sunday Times. I noted on Twitter that last count you've adopted 3, lions, etc. Okay, so I wondered if you could tell us a little bit more about that, and then also to just like mention, like Madonna, you can't start up these schools in the middle of Africa and leave them. Are you coming back to see your adopted pets?
Next year, when we come back on tour, I will come back to see my adopted pets. I threatened to move here, but Mom would be mad. I can't make it home for Thanksgiving. It's a 24-hour flight. But I do that a lot when I'm on tour. I was in Cape Town. I'm like, it's so beautiful. I could live here. Joe and myself went to a really cool place called the Lion Park Sanctuary outside Cape Town, where they rescue lions from circuses all over the world. And they also have a couple of Bengal tigers that they rescued from a bankrupt zoo. And a lot of these cubs come from the canned hunt thing that's been going on in Africa. So they get those lions into the sanctuary. And then you pay some money to adopt them and help pay for their fees. And it was really cool. And I'm all about the animal rights, and it's just something that started happening to me the last few years. And we had sea shepherds at our show. They're here doing work on the call up in Namibia about the seals up there. So, they're also really big on whales and dolphins. So they're good friends of mine. And so they'll probably, hopefully, be at this show as well. And they'll have they'll make their way up. So it's cool. Yeah.
So we're very happy about that here, Jacaranda. We've got the Purple Rhino Project. As you know, the rhino problem is absolutely ridiculous. Would you be doing stuff here in South Africa, filming stuff for future projects to help you along with your animal activism? Did I hear a rumor you're shooting some stuff in maybe the Pilanesberg area?
Oh yeah, I actually have a solo album I'm putting out, not to cross promote, but
Do it. Oh, go ahead.
Do it. Okay, why not?
If you insist.
I have this song on my solo album called For the Wild Ones, and it's really came to me about all this stuff I've been getting into about animals all over the world, and just the tragedy and all the captivity of dolphins and whales, and I've been working with the International Federation of Animal Welfare for the rhinos and the elephants and the poaching, and it just all these lyrics started coming to me. So I'm going to shoot a video up here and hopefully get the big 5 in the video with me. Hey, you guys want to, And then I shot another video down on Table Rock Mountain for another song I have called Lady of the Stone, which it looks absolutely amazing. I feel like Bon Jovi and that one with, the cowboy on a steel horse I ride, I was up there with my acoustic guitar, and it was just amazing scenery. I mean, I had to shoot it, So I got 2 videos out of South Africa. And I'll give you guys credit on the YouTube.
Thank you.
Can I just add, I think it's quite ironic that I, as a singer of Def Leppard, sponsored a blind tiger. I know, a blind lion. Yeah. A blind lion. I thought there was a nice bit of irony there. Obviously you didn't, so forget it. Blind lion, get it? No, Def Leppard. Never mind.
Oh no, it's too early for that. By the way, we'd love to play that track for the first time here at this station when it's ready. Yeah, I'm going to definitely call your people. Who's next? Here we go.
Question for Miles. Following on the social networks, I see you took a dive with a great white shark, but we only see the pictures on top of the boat and before you go into the water. What happened under the water with a great white?
I pretty much peed my wetsuit. It was incredible. I mean, it's something that ever since Jaws came out, and I've been just obsessed with great whites. So getting to go and fulfill a lifelong dream and check off the bucket list, yeah, it was. I don't know. There's a certain grace that they have, but at the same time, he's right. When they open their mouths, then you realize who's boss in the food chain real quick. Yeah.
All right, who's next? There we go.
Brent Dugmore from musicreview.co.za. Question for Ed. Ed, you've
been in South Africa. I think it's your 4th or 5th time in 6 years. What is the pull for you, or what is it about South Africa that just keeps bringing you back?
The invitation. It's beautiful here too, and I love the people and their love of music. Last time I was here was with the Heineken Symphonic Rocks, which was all South African musicians, bands, and it was just an education for me to hear the different rhythms. You know, we don't get to hear that in the States. It's its own vibe, and it was so educational for me. And that's one of the things I didn't have to sell Matt on that. I was like, dude, we need to go there and just experience the people and the beauty this country has to offer, and their love of music. So here we are. Thanks for doing that, Matt.
Yeah.
Thank you. Ilse Marie, do you have one?
Yes,
And
I
then
have.
Wayne.
Matt, I know you've got a couple of guys lined up, but if there ever have to be a kings and a queen of chaos, which lady would you add? Deceased, alive, and why?
Good one.
Well, there's a lot of great rock girls out there. Ann Wilson I have spoken to. She's Linda Perry is an amazing singer, but also I played recently with Chrissy Hind, and I love Chrissy, and she's cool. Let me think. Who else?
Fergie.
Slash has already had his paws on Fergie, hasn't he? Let me see. There's some. Who's that? Lita Ford. I just actually produced an album with Cherie Curry from the Runaways. She's made her first album in years, and she's putting it out. She's still singing amazing. There's so many great rock women out there. So yeah, we'll work on that for sure. Thank
Good
you.
one. Thanks.
I've got a question for Glenn and Joe, kind of together. You guys being British and pretty much kind of everybody else being American, is there, back in the day in music, there was a little bit of a joshing and a bit of a vibe between the Brits and the Americans. Do you experience that on tour together? Is there a bit of a...
I don't remember any joshing.
No.
I've never.
No.
We
fucking thing.
We have.
No. It's my turn.
You.
It's my turn. It's his turn.
I never experienced anything like that. I think musicians, no matter if they're stuck on a desert island or in an elevator in New York, there'll be something that they've got in common, even if it's just the us against the world factor. I never ever experienced that at all. In fact, when you might not remember this, but Appetite and Hysteria were both released on the same week, and there was nothing but like admiration from our point of view. It's like, I remember Phil coming into the rehearsal room and he says, "Have you heard this thing?" It's like, no. And he put it on. It's like, oh my God, we've got our work cut out this year, because that's just totally different kind of record to Hysteria. But just the respect that how fantastic it was. I've known these guys forever. We've never really had an issue. If we've got an issue with a musician, it's not because of their nationality. It's normally just because they're crap.
My experience is that I come from a generation before Def Leppard and Guns N' Roses being in Deep Purple. And the Brits back then, it was Zeppelin, The Who's, Happer, Purple, Stones. It was like the 10 big ones, We all left, most of us left in the 70s to move to America. And where I love American music, as most people know, but I'm very honoured to be British and come from that genre of great British late 60s, early 70s, where it's never been repeated, that sort of vibey British thing. But, I love America. It's where I lived for 40 years, and long may that happen.
Cool. Who we have next? Right here.
My question is for Miles Kennedy. You work with some awesome people. You've got great people that you're working with. You tour with amazing people. People sitting next to you are phenomenal. And you are getting ready to release an album yourself. Now, I want to know, what's the most important thing that you're going to take from working with each of these people year after year, or as you have, that you're going to put into your new album with Outbridge?
That's a really good question. I mean, for me, just as a fan, getting to sit up here with these guys is pretty unbelievable. So yeah, every day I just kind of quietly sit back and try and learn something. And the thing that all of them have shown to me on this run is just how they seem very, very centered and egoless, if that's a word, egoless. It's just been, I think the music, they just let the music speak for itself, and they're cool people, and they're good to everybody, and they care about, they've got their causes they believe in, and they just kind of, it's inspiring. So I'm just trying to learn and evolve myself.
Quick one before I go back to the floor. You mentioned just now warming up your voices and stuff before a show. You guys have all paid your dues, earned your colours. How's the discipline, with a band like this, Kings of Chaos? Is it difficult to get the guys, ready before a show, for rehearsals? Are you actually quite focused still and disciplined? Who's going to answer that one? Gilbert, you want to get that one?
That's right.
You seem to laugh.
I don't know if we're disciplined so much, but we are focused, I mean, once again, things are a lot easier than you would think. It's like a lot of us, without even trying, just kind of gelled together. Like I said, most of us have all played together. But I was really impressed with the singers of how all these guys are frontmen for their own bands, and they're the guy for, an hour and a half a night. And they've really been extremely respectful of each other and letting everybody, when it's your moment on stage, enjoy it, have fun. So I think the guys did a great job.
Cool. Wayne, you also have a question for Gilby?
Gilby, I'm just wondering, I wasn't alive in the decade of decadence, but I've always wanted to check out the Sunset Strip. I wanted to know from you, from the Roxy and the Whiskey and the Troubadour and all those places, which one is truly the best and the most awesome place to like?
What was the most fun?
Gazari's.
Gazari's was actually not the most fun because that was the bands from out of town played Gazari's. But I had some great times at the Roxy. The Roxy was definitely fun. It was next door to the Rainbow, and a lot of decadence. One thing people didn't realize about that time was, even though hard rock was really well known at that time, there was a lot of great punk rock that was going on during those years. And like if the Germs and the Dickies were playing at the Whiskey, you couldn't walk down the street that night with long hair. You'd have to wear a baseball cap or you get your ass kicked. And vice versa. If a punk rocker walked, when Quiet Riot was playing, at the Troubadour, they got their ass kicked. But also it was a great decadent time.
All right. We've got time for, I think, 2-3 more questions. Where are we going?
What's that?
Over here. Right here. Standing times.
Sorry, a question for Matt again, seeing as you are one of the founding members of Kings of Chaos. I wanted to find out if there's any chance that you'll all put your heads together and actually do something new, create something together that you're not bringing, from all of your different groups, and just actually,
Yeah,
go
we've been.
away with Kings of Chaos.
Yeah, we've been talking about that. Coming up with something that's great. We wouldn't want to just put a track out for any reason to put the track out. But we have had talks about putting out some series of EPs with different people on it, and some original material. So we'll see how that goes. We have to get the ball rolling first. This is our first real big tour with the name Kings of Chaos, and it's been going really well. Tomorrow night's Saturday night's almost sold out, and we did great in Cape Town, so we're very excited. It's very cool.
All right, last one here.
Catherine from 5FM. Obviously, this incredible lineup of tracks that you're playing on this tour. I just wanted to know which track is your favorite to play for each one of you.
Well, I only sing on mine, and backing vocals on Paradise. So I'll have to say for other people's stuff, the best song it's not one of mine is Paradise City. It's the only one I do. But to watch, I've got to say, I got a bit of a stiffy watching them do Night Train the other night. And please, hang on, one more thing. Glenn Hughes' acoustic rendition of Mistreated is outstanding. I have to follow him. But
you are too kind, my friend.
It's incredible to watch him play Mistreated. You'll actually hear a pin drop in the hall. It's that good. So they would be my two favourite, Night Train and Glenn's version of Mistreated.
Ed?
Well, I get to do a Velvet Revolver song, Slither. So that's now that I got it under my belt, I'm really enjoying it.
For me, I don't sing on this song, but I agree with Joe. Hearing Glenn do "Mistreated" it's like school is in session. You know.
Miles is my son.
Thank you, Father.
It's true.
Matt?
Burn. That was my album. Yes. I grew up on Deep Purple.
$5.
Yeah, thank you. We're just going to all blow you right now, Glenn. But for me as a kid growing up in California, you know, all my friends were into Led Zeppelin. And I was just the Deep Purple guy. We used to have the little folder, and you'd be in school, and I would draw the Deep Purple logo, and, you know. And I would go home, and I had a PA in my room, and I would play Burn over and over and over again. So when I finally got Glenn in the band, I'm like, we're doing Burn. And then I was the one that suggested Mistreated, too. And we do a really great breakdown in the middle of the show. We do a couple hours up on stage. So we do this acoustic bit. You have to see Glenn sing Mistreated, another one of my favorite songs off that record. So.
Okay.
Catwoman likes Joe singing All the Young Dudes because it was written by my friend Bowie that Mott the Hoople did his friend Ian Hunter. Strange scenario. But I know what this song means to Joe, and he sings it like it was wrote for him. So I believe when he sings it, it really, 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 truly, truly goes deep with him. And that really means something to me. Miles. Because simply because not because they like me. Does he really like me? Because here's the deal. I want this to be known that for me, Miles is the greatest new rock singer out there, and more importantly, he's one of the nicest, kindest, genuine people in our business, and that's really difficult today when you get great musicianship and soulfulness, and you get a really nice lad. So I'm rooting for Miles to go all the way in our business, and I'm rooting for all these chaps to kick some serious Catwoman ass on Saturday and Sunday.
Super. Dave?
Wow. I like watching Glenn do Mistreated, but I will say that my answer is a lot more self-indulgent. And I think I can kind of speak for Gilby and myself that we both come from being in bands with Slash. So for me, my favorite songs are the whole first half of the set where I get to play solos and just shred. Because I don't do a lot of shredding in a band with Slash. So all those songs, you know, like the Def Leppard ones where you get to use whammy bar and do all that stuff that Phil does, and getting to play all the, you know, Richie Blackmore stuff is, you know, and even, you know, the Collective Soul has quite a bit of solo. So, that, I mean, honestly, that's my favorite part.
Gilby?
For me, it changes every night. All the Young Dudes is one of my favorite because that's my era. Like I love all that the glam stuff, T-Rex, Bowie, and so I love all the Young Dudes. But it does change every night. It's like sometimes we just hit a magical performance, you know, and the song just moves you, you know. So the last show was all the Young Dudes. The show before that was Paradise City. Was just killer.
All right, just to wrap up quickly, you guys.
One thing we understood after we played that song was that wasn't a big song in South Africa, All the Young Dudes, but we like it, so we're still going to play it. Is that okay?
Great.
Out of all the songs in the set, you go, oh, I'm not sure if I know that one. But that'll be the only one you know now, I promise.
We will batter you into submission.
We would like it. Listen, you guys seem to have a lot of fun together. Now, and we've shared some intimate things here today. Yes, we have. Yes, we have.
Especially with the shower boy.
That's it right there. But one last bit of sharing here quickly. We all have a guilty pleasure, that one band or artist that you love that will shock the world, if we had to know. Probably the one that you turn down when you get to the traffic light, just in case someone can hear into your car. Would you share that with me?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'll be here all day with
all right,
these.
Joe.
There are no such things as guilty pleasures. I once did a thing for a magazine in England where I had to name 5 albums that were guilty pleasures for me, and I put Joshua Tree, Dark Side of the Moon, Abbey Road, etc., because it's like ridiculous. But for me, Crazy Horses by the Osmonds is one of the best rock songs ever written. And one of the best songs ever written, and the production is incredible, is Summer the First Time by Bobby Goldsboro.
Absolutely.
Because also the fact that he's 17, she's 31, and they're doing it on the beach doesn't suck either. You know.
All right, that's it. Guys, thank you so much for joining us here for the press conference today. We really appreciate it. Are we looking forward to Saturday and Sunday at Sun City? Oh, yes, we are. Ladies and gentlemen, the Kings of Chaos, thank you.